talent and passion can never be hidden. जो आपका talent होता है वो दुनिया को पता चलता है और आप जो passionate होते हो आप किसी न किसी चीज को जरूर कोशिश करते हो. तो आज हाउस द जोश में जो मेरे साथ फौजी वाइफ है, I would describe her as education से वो एक architect है और passion से वो एक artist है और profession से वो एक professor है. I am Arthi Karthik and I am joined by Mrs. Rita. Welcome, Rita, to House the Josh.
Thank you so much, Arthi. That's kind of you to take me on this platform.
No, it's my pleasure. And your house is beautiful and I love it.
Thank you so much.
It shows every ounce of your creativity.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you to appreciate,
No. It's beautiful. तो पहले आप क्या हो? Architect हो, professor हो, artist हो?
I think सबसे पहले तो I try to be a good human being.
Okay.
That is what. And artist by heart and profession wise I'm an architect and then masters in landscape architect. And I'll call myself an artist first,
Okay.
And what I feel that everybody's an artist. It's only the time that they have to really explore themselves. But I feel everybody's an artist, So I call myself like a, just a mature artist. Till I feel I'm still learning, exploring myself.
No, I mean I think you're too kind to say that कि आप अभी भी amateur काम करते हो. I mean look at this painting which is behind. No one would say that. So how did this passion come? Was it always there in you as a child?
I was, but I used to never paint and do all these things. Well, for architecture you require all these things. But that time I used to see my other classmates doing a lot of work, but that it never came up, to really paint. I would do a little bit of sketching and all, but I was not that very great at it. It happened, army. Army has taught me so many things. I think I'm very thankful to the army fraternity. And initially I was to crib because of the postings. I was not able to work, but I think that kind of put me into all these things. I could explore this side of mine, And small place called Pathankot, we were posted there.
Yeah, we were also there. I know Pathankot. Okay.
And small place, and we came from Pune, and I asked my husband. I said, "Is this a town?" He said, "No, it's a district." And I'm like, "Oh God, how am I going to do now? From Pune to there." But I think we just take a little while. We crib. It's important to crib also, take out your thing, and then I find my own thing. Either I start working on freelancing or something. So painting happened that, I always had that from inside that I want to do something, I want to paint. And I said I wanted to learn the techniques, though, the finer nuances of it. So I started, looking for in the Google and I asked anybody. Since a small place, I said, there was only 2 stationery shops. I had to go and said, यहाँ तो आर्टिस्ट आके लेता होगा. मैंने कहा भैया यहाँ कोई है आर्टिस्ट? नहीं मैडम यहाँ कोई नहीं. The other one I asked, नहीं यहाँ कोई नहीं. I googled it and found out. I said there's this near a college, this artist used to take workshops and he used to paint and all. Okay. So I called up that college and I said, यहाँ कोई artist सिखाता है? नहीं मैडम यहाँ तो कोई नहीं सिखाता, एक दुकान चलाता है कोई. I said, अच्छा चलो, I'll go and find out. I went. When I saw the work, I was amazed. So people don't know.
That studio was the dukaan he called.
Yeah. And I felt so bad. I felt, this person is doing such amazing work and how come you call that as a dukaan, And Vinod sir is his name and I still, I give my, the credit what he's bought me, he would always tell me to, do the final things and, help me improve it. And that's how I started, taking classes there. And I just fell in love with everything I did. And for a year I did, and I did a lot of, I worked on a lot of paintings, media and all. And then we got posted and so, but I'm still in touch and I continue to do so. So that 1 year I was just doing it for my friends and families, understanding what they wanted. And that helped me learn. And so that's how it.
So do you continue, would you plan to continue this passion of yours commercially now?
Yes, I would, because I never thought in those lines earlier. And, but I think we should always be positive. What life has taught me, you should always be positive, live in the moment, and enjoy this because this moment is not going to come again. You don't know what's going to happen next. And a little bit of meditation helps me to understand life a bit. So I do a meditation a bit, and for painting is also meditation for me. I know, I understand.
That's a stress buster.
Yes.
Come creative passion that you have.
Yes, and you just flow into that whole mood. So I want to take it on a commercial level.
So you have worked, as an architect, you have worked with corporates, I'm sure, before you got married.
Yes.
And maybe post-marriage also for some time you continued.
Yes, I did.
And now you are in a completely different profession of teaching.
Yes.
तो कितना फर्क है कॉर्पोरेट में और टीचिंग में?
बहुत फर्क है. I would put it, corporate is more professional in that way, and it's the client side. You're working from, I had to go in 8 in the morning, come back by 8:30. I was in Bombay. I was staying with my parents, and my daughter was that time 1.5, 2 years old. So my mother was there to take care of us. I would go and do it, all these things. When I'm back home, I was like very, very tired. So that was a different. And I didn't make friends. With corporate is a different world. And teaching is, you are with kids. Architecture students, but...
is it therapeutic for you being a teacher, being a professor?
It is. And at the same time, I'm learning, I felt, acha, ye tab nahi seekha tha. College mein to thoda nahi, but you start, again doing the same thing. And it just helps. And children are amazing, They give so much of reverence to you. And I feel it's amazing to be on the other part and learn, because I'm not only teaching, I learn from them as well.
So, Rita, how many years have you been in the education industry now?
It's been almost 8 years now.
Okay, that's a long time.
Yeah, so it's in Pune that I started, because my daughter was very, very small. I decided now I can't do this 9 to 5 or like in corporates and all, though they were paying very well. But, I think as an army wife, we go through all these
transitions of life.
Yes. So many, like look at you also, you've been working, as radio jockey, and you're so talented, and I'm sure you understand the graph that it goes up and down.
Yeah.
So that happened with me as well. It's a teaching job. Unfortunately, in India, they don't pay you well. So that pinched me a little bit. But then I think my priority is my daughter. So I picked up as visiting professor. So you can go to different colleges. Maybe you take one lecture, 2 lectures like this. So that way,
is it the same that you're doing now as well?
No, I am like a full-time.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I'm a full-time. Yeah.
Okay, and you're enjoying this phase of life.
Yeah, of course. And the best thing that the teaching I do, but I go to different states and I understand the different culture, the different people there. So it just helps me understand. And I always had this inclination of the abroad thing. And now I'm falling in love with India so much. I said, I have not explored so many things in India. It's time. It's time that, and we undervalue, we underestimate, the Indian culture and the values, and there's so much to it.
Talking about, undervaluing, Rita, I feel that we as fauji wives really undervalue ourselves. Don't you think?
I agree. I mean, hadn't it been my, the ladies in the army who said, Rita, aren't you doing why aren't you taking it ahead? And then I said, okay, I can, I mean, otherwise
I am good at it, so why shouldn't I?
Otherwise I used to feel, no, there's so many other artists who are doing equally, and being in Kolkata, the more I feel. But then they said, every artist has his own,
charm and
distinction, whatever they do, So then I realized, it's important to value yourself and take it, because bahut zaruri hai. And that I realized. So apart from the work I do, that is okay, It just helps me being financially independent. So I don't look at I'm earning less as compared to Ambala where I was. But I was like, fair enough. I value relationships more than the money I get. So I'm so much in touch with all my, the principals and the teachers and still. So that helps me build my community more.
So you're still learning the creative passion of being a good artist, or you feel that now you will do self-exploration?
Self-exploration, yes, one part, but then I'm not ceased to learn. I'm going to see and look out for Kolkata who are really so different mediums I can learn, and every teacher has different way of teaching. So why not? So learning never stops, And when I look at it, I said when Rabindranath Tagore ji ne at the age of 60 he started sketching, and I'm still 42, so that's okay. So I was still long.
Have you participated as of now in any exhibitions?
Hanji. There was this in the Rabindra Sadan Academy of Fine Arts on 8th of March.
Ava
initiative. G. So that helped me, So the paintings which I had, so I showed
it. What was the feedback that you got from audience?
This painting, everybody said, the co-artist, all the army wives, and there were other audience who also came. They looked at this painting and they said, and believe me, this painting, I made it for everybody. Like the one horse I made for my husband, for my mother, everything I did. I said, I want to do it for myself now, I'm a little feminist.
It's good to be feminist.
In a good way, I would say. And I said, I want to look at, I made this painting. So I said, this really drew my attention. That this is a half face, if you see. And I said, it's half face. So I said, there is always that one portion of the women that people don't see, that is inside us. and the other one.
It's like the soul to the face.
Yes, and these are these intangibles that they are there with us. They're with us. We don't see that, and the other is we show the people.
Yes, yes.
So this is how, and I call this as perspective because everybody who came to my house, they said, "What is this?" Somebody says it's very pensive. Somebody says it's very gloomy. Somebody says it's very cheerful. I said I call it perspective. Whatever which is within you, you can reflect this on the painting. Yes. So. Yeah, so that also. So this I dedicated to to the women force and all the women in my family.
So if somebody wants to order a painting from you, how do you go about it? Do you ask people what they want, or do they come to you with a specific image?
So when I put this exhibition, there were few people who messaged me and said that we want a portrait of this, we wanted. I said, fine, fair enough. So I'm in touch with them, and that is how it has started.
You would deliver it very soon?
Yes, very soon. So working on it, and they've told me that this is what we want, and you take your time. In fact, that's very nice of them to say, take your time, since you're working and all. I said, fair enough. Now, and this has driven me to do more of my work, and it gives me immense pleasure in doing that.
How much time does it take for you to finish one painting?
This took me almost a month, The reason is because I was doing it around, say, and between that time also what happened that my mother-in-law was not well. So many things. So I took it around, but when I have to do it, maybe, it depends on the painting. So if it's a huge painting, so maybe 15 odd days, 20 odd days, or 1 month, depends on the painting. It's a small sketch, maybe, 2-3 days.
No, we talked about art being like meditation, and you said you are into meditation. Yes, so what kind of meditation do you do?
I do Vipassana meditation. Yeah, so Vipassana meditation is looking inside, and so I've been doing it since it runs in my family. Actually, my father has become a teacher now. And so they're across the country, these and across the world.
Vipassana centers.
Vipassana centers. Yeah. So it's a minimum is a 10-day course, and I've been doing it when I conceived my daughter, so I had done it that time in Bombay, and I still continue to do at least an hour or half an hour. I still continue to do it a day, so it keeps me calm because I feel I'm a little hyper.
Is it any different from the other meditations that people do?
It is, because every meditation has a different technique. Now this is they say. Just go on your natural breath. You look at your natural breath. You don't have to focus on any particular thing.
कोई speed नहीं है.
जो है आप बस natural, and it's not easy, because your mind will go here, there, either it goes in the past or it goes in the future. We hardly stay in the present.
Mind is a monkey.
It is. The moment you stay in present, you're happy, and वही चीज याद आती है किसी ने हमें दुख दिया है whatever और क्या करना है you never stay in the moment, so that has taught me to be in the moment.
The other day I was just reading some quote which said that we keep our happy memories on the mobile, and we keep all the sad memories in our mind, and we keep reliving those sad memories, but whenever we want to feel happy we go to the mobile, so we have to do the opposite.
Very true. I like that.
That's so true. And I felt कितनी सही बात है ये.
We do that, It just happens automatically, and I think it's a very human tendency to have negative thoughts first. We have to work on it,
So Vipassana helps you to.
It does.
And tell me, how has it been for you being a professional and getting married to an army officer? Was it by choice? Was it by chance? Was it, destiny? Or was it love after you met your husband and decided अच्छा मैं नौकरी भी छोड़ दूंगी, है ना, जैसा हम जनरली करते हैं, बिकॉज हम कभी सोचते नहीं है कि एज ए प्रोफेशनल क्या होगा, हम छोड़ देते हैं नौकरी, फिर हमें लगता है अरे ये तो बिल्कुल ही अब तो जिंदगी बदल गई बिल्कुल, there's such a 360-degree turn in our lives. So how was it for you?
Mine was a complete arranged marriage. It was a complete arranged marriage, and because my father was in civil services, so he wanted somebody from the civil. He said, "ये corporate में पैसे का क्या करना? Respect has to be there." He's always the one, So that is how it was a complete arranged marriage, and but Rohit as a person is very good, So he didn't ask me the typical questions was others asked. So जब
खाना
बनाना आता है क्या, salary कितना है, ये है वो है. The moment he asked, I said I don't know, though I did knew about how to, but and my father was, and my mother-in-law was there. She's like, it's okay. He's like, कोई बात नहीं, mess में खाएंगे. Mess was a new term for me. I didn't know what is mess. I said, ये mess में खिलाएगा, So for me as a civilian, mess was very different, But he was always very supportive, and so if I crib, he would listen to me, if I say something, and he's always kept me on priority to, he's never kept himself on priority. He's kept me and my daughter on priority and taken decisions. That's a big thing for me.
Wow, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
Especially being in the fauj, बहुत ही ज़्यादा मुश्किल है ये.
मुश्किल है. And he always, he tried कि मैं comfort में रहूँ, मैं जो चाहती हूँ वो करूँ, and that keeps me happy, and so he's been very, very.
That's why your passion is still alive, no?
Exactly, and he pushes me, he pushes me to do things, and he will help me. Okay, whenever we go, he's like, oh, you want to pick up some canvases or something, you start doing, and he'll give me tana also.
How sweet is that?
Yes, he'll give me tana also. Muhurat nikalna next painting. So that keeps me alive, So it.
So anything that you want to tell him from the show?
He has been a friend to me always, and I don't just continue as a friend to me. We have our little fights and everything, but that's part of friendship. And we're not the husband-wife thing. We're more like friends. And I'm really grateful to you that I am here because of you. So you never knew that, but let me tell you that.
That's so sweet. And how has the transition been for you from the corporate to being an army officer's wife to being a professor? You know?
So when I was working in corporates, yes, I was like thorough professional, working, and I was very ambitious. But when getting married to the army officer, life changes. But army is not like a typical job. It's an organization. It's a life. You enter a different family. Now for me, this is my family. And when that happened, it was not easy. I was a little restless person initially. So, but for there, बहुत opportunities होते हैं. They said, ladies meet में participate करो, यहाँ करो, learn few things. There's so many courses always happens in a lot of stations. So I kept myself busy, and that helped improve my personality and make so many friends. And I feel people are very calm and composed, and people help you, they support you. I've been very fortunate to meet.
To have good people around.
Yes, I think that's also very fortunate to have very good people, encouraging people. Taught me so many things. So I'm very thankful to the army fraternity for that.
That kept you going.
That kept me going. Yes, it was not easy initially. That the transition, it was not easy. But I think over the time, I just felt so comfortable. I think these are the smaller things that matter. Like the happiness and being together and learning new things. Had I been working in corporate, I've been earning money, but I don't know whether I would have been happy or I would have pursued this passion of mine.
Yes.
I would have even known that I can play.
Self-exploration takes place here, I feel.
Yes.
At every level.
Yes, true.
In every station, there's something different which is happening. True. And there are different people that you meet.
True. It's only you have to keep your eyes, all your senses open and ready to absorb things.
Yes.
If that is there, I think there is no dearth of, learning. I feel that.
And Rita, who else is in your family? Your husband and your children?
Yeah, I have a daughter who's 12 and a half years old. Yeah, I have one daughter and a dog.
So your daughter has any creative passion like you have?
Oh, she loves baking. She is crazy after baking.
Okay.
Yeah, so, now I don't enter the kitchen if I have to bake. Okay, we keep telling her, like, my husband, like, Vyanta, bake this for us, bake this, that for us. So my dog turned a year old and she baked a nice dog cake for him.
Oh,
and
wow.
we had, he has his friends here in the neighborhood, 2 more. And so we had a nice party and, that was fun.
So creativity to hai, but alag type ki creativity.
Alag type ki hai. I don't think she really, but she started doing now painting and all, but she's more into
baking.
And they cook, and my husband also cooks really well. So
nice. Yeah, even my husband cooks.
Oh, lovely.
So,
it's a blessing.
Yes, it is a blessing. You also are into book covers. You design book covers as well?
Well, I'm not into design. I never thought, as I told you, I never thought that I would. But when I had put this painting, Arthi, on the Facebook, it was since I wanted to dedicate to all the women, so it was 8th of March only I had put, and I put it on FB. I said, let me put, this is time again. I'm a little less on social media also, but slowly now.
Now you should be.
Yes, now I am. So initially, what happens is when you get married and, all these things, and when you see your batchmates and all doing really well. Yeah. I said, I'm going to off from FB. To be very honest, I felt a little this. I said, mujhe alag hai. I don't want to feel the jealousy and everything. Let me be away from these feelings. I was a little, but now I think matured, with age, maturity happens and, not everything, that you seem to be is real, so now it is what
not everything at face value.
Yeah.
So this over here is the...
So this is a book design, So it's the same painting that I put on FB.
Okay.
So this I had put, and this is another friend of mine, even Pathankot. She writes poems. She's an army wife herself. Neha Tyagi. So she published her first book and she published a second book. And when she saw this on the FB, on the Facebook, she said, can I take this as a cover page? Because my book talks about women and, self-exploration. I said, please go ahead. And, so that's how she said, I have seen so many, but this had caught my eye. So, that is how.
So this is another thing that you can get into full time.
Yes. So it helped me, So I think God has been very kind to me, to give me these opportunities. And, so I'm very grateful for that also. I'm grateful for the life to my parents and to my husband for taking me. And of course, my husband and my daughter are my strength. Without them, I wouldn't have reached where I am.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for taking me on the show. And
no.
Very my
privilege. My privilege, and all the best to you. I hope that you have many more book covers to your credit, and you commercially grow very, very well, and you prosper in your passion. आप अपनी profession में तो prosper कर ही रहे हो, but in your passion also you prosper, and a lot of the army fraternity knows about you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And they reach out to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Same.
Thank you.
So that was the beautiful, beautiful Rita, professionally qualified, yet down to earth and compassionate, and understanding that जो फौज होती है as a fraternity बहुत supporting होती है, and that's what helped her to evolve as a person and explore herself more. So in the next episode, we'll be joined again by a fauji personality. This is me, Arthi Karthik, saying thank you so much for your time. Please subscribe to my channel, comment and share.